Joining us now, Amazon Web Services CEO Adam Selipsky. And Adam, welcome to Bloomberg Technology. I want to start with some of the mechanics of this deal. Does Anthropic still pay Amazon to use AWS Cloud? Or is it structured such that the investment that you make in Anthropic is in the form of cash and credits for AWS Cloud?
Good morning and thanks for having me. We're very excited for this expanded relationship with Anthropic. And the investment is a financial investment, as you say. And in addition, Anthropic will be training future versions of its models and running its models on AWS using our Trainium chips and Inferentia chips. Those models will be guaranteed to be available for years to come in our Amazon Bedrock managed service for LLMs, which provides a very wide choice of models. And AWS customers will actually receive early access to key features in Anthropic's models in the future, such as fine-tuning and customization of models. In addition, Anthropic's got very talented technical teams, and we anticipate working closely with them to actually improve future versions of our Trainium and Inferentia chips. So there are a lot of different benefits for our joint end customers from this relationship, and we're very excited to be leaders in this together.
Adam, there's a lot of emphasis on moving a maker of foundation models at that scale onto your proprietary silicon. How quickly will Anthropic start running AI workloads on Trainium and Inferentia?
Well, we've been working with Anthropic. They've been a customer of ours since, I think, their founding over a couple of years ago. And so they use a variety of different technologies for a variety of different workloads on AWS. They'll be using GPUs on AWS, and will also be using large quantities of Trainium and Inferentia. So I think everything's going to move very quickly, and it'll all be a mix of technologies depending on their needs at the time.
Adam, what's the mood like within Amazon and AWS this morning? There are lots of talented engineers that have been working on large language models, generative AI tools internally, and now you're turning to a third party who's highly regarded as a leader in building foundation models.
The mood here is great. We are a company of inventors who we love to build, and there's never been a better time to be a builder at AWS than right now. And as I mentioned before, a big part of our strategy in AI, and generative AI specifically, is all about customer choice. And there's not going to be any one solution that works for all customers, for all use cases. And Anthropic has done an amazing job. They're clearly a leader in this space. And it's really important for customers that we continue to generate new capabilities together. At the same time, really one of the hallmarks of our Amazon Bedrock managed service for generative AI is choice. And so Amazon is going to continue to build its own Titan models, which are going to be available later this year. Obviously, Anthropic's models are prominent in Bedrock, and we'll have models from other leading providers as well, as we have today. So it's still an amazing time to build here at Amazon. We think our models are going to be great as well, and it's about customers choosing the right tool for the job.
Talking about choice, and I just want to re-welcome our TV and radio audiences with Adam Selipsky. What's so notable is that, well, Anthropic took a chunk of change, $400 million worth, from Google already. And I'm interested as to how you feel that is perhaps a concern for you or not, the relationship that Anthropic already has with a previous cloud provider.
No, we feel great about the relationship with Anthropic. It's been a good relationship, and I think today's announcement just makes it a deeper and longer term. Anthropic will use AWS as its primary cloud provider for mission-critical workloads, including building foundation models and doing AI safety research, and will run the majority of its workloads on AWS. So we feel great about being able to provide the capacity and the expertise, and of course the security, the enterprise-grade security that is so important to AWS customers. And we also feel great about working with Anthropic to make sure that our Trainium and Inferentia technology, our chips, are as cutting edge as possible going forward for years to come.
I'm interested in drilling down sort of on where Ed was going about the feeling internally right now, because I look at some of the analyst reaction to this, Adam, and Wedbush, for example, they say this signals a newfound urgency in Amazon's strategy to further integrate generative AI among your AWS suite of services. That urgency, was there a lack of understanding or indeed a reality that Amazon was behind the curve here a little bit when it came to the integration of generative AI? Because we've been looking at OpenAI and Microsoft for a while now.
Oh, we've been saying for many, many months, Carolyn, that we are fully urgent. We have a strategy that we really love. It is different than some other cloud provider strategies. It's true. We have a strategy of providing absolutely uncompromising security, which I don't think is true for all cloud providers. We have a strategy of providing customers the choices to use whatever is best for their job at hand. So Anthropic is going to be an amazing set of models for many, many use cases. And Amazon is fully invested in building its own Titan models, which I think will be really useful for other customers in other circumstances. And of course, our other model provider partners through Bedrock. So I really think it's an ill-founded premise that there's been some change in urgency. We're fully urgent here on generative AI for one reason and one reason alone. It's because our customers need us to have great generative AI capabilities. So many of them have their data platforms on AWS. And if you've got your data here, you really want to have your generative AI and all the powerful capabilities that you need from those capabilities in the same place. And so we have been, are, and will continue to be very motivated to deliver for customers.
Adam, what does this mean for the kind of ramp up or path forward for Trainium and Inferentia? You've put a lot of emphasis that Anthropic brings you a maker or creator of foundation models at scale. Will you now need to ramp up, I guess, your third-party manufacturing relationships to say, okay, let's get more Trainium, more Inferentia online to support the workloads?
Well, it's absolutely true that there is a huge demand for all of the different chips with which people do generative AI workloads. And so we absolutely have already been ramping up our training in Inferentia supply chain and ramping up the supply that we can create as quickly as possible. And yes, Anthropic will have access to very significant quantities of compute, which will have Trainium and Inferentia in them. So yes, that's one of many reasons why we continue to ramp up and to provide a very robust AWS-controlled supply chain for AI chips.
And is that where the revenue boost comes, Adam? Because we're looking at the share price reaction is higher on the day. When does this all start to really drive adoption, money, and the bottom line for Amazon?
Well, I think that AI in general, look, AWS has had machine learning services since at least 2017 when we released our SageMaker machine learning service, which has over 100,000 AWS customers on it. So we've been doing machine learning for a long time inside of AWS. And obviously more recently have had a significant number of generative AI customers. And we will certainly continue to ramp up, I anticipate, quite steeply. We have many sources of growth inside of AWS. We're a scaled and relatively sizable business at this point, and customers are running their data platforms on AWS. They are building out more and more applications for things like supply chain and contact center management on AWS. There's still a whole lot of storage and compute and database workloads ramping in on AWS. So we have many sources of growth, I anticipate, but there's absolutely no doubt that generative AI looks like it's going to be an explosive additional source of growth in the years ahead.
Adam, we put a lot of emphasis on the up to $4 billion. And, I understand and thank you for explaining how the relationship will work in practice. If I put to you, this is an example of Amazon or AWS basically paying a leader in the field of AI, handing over cash to make them use Trainium and Inferentia, how would you respond to that? And explain to me how you bring new customers on board who are really interested in the AI accelerators that you have built without having to invest in them as a sort of backer.
Sure. Well, I think the really big news today is the new expanded relationship between Anthropic and Amazon. in which they will have access to really large quantities of Trainium and Inferentia chips. Customers will have access to those models, including early access to critical features through Amazon Bedrock. And Amazon will get to, AWS will get to work with Anthropic to ensure that we optimize our Trainium and Inferentia technology going forward. That's the benefit for customers. And yes, as part of this, we're pleased to be making an initial investment of $1.25 billion into Anthropic. It's a financial investment, and that could go up as high as $4 billion, as you said, over time. But it's really driven around customer value and what this is going to mean to customers who are, very, very determined, as they should be, to figure out generative AI strategies. We already are working in depth with customers, as is Anthropic, on forming those strategies and actually moving to execution. We have a lot of great customers, from Lonely Planet to Nexus Lexus, and a number of others who are actually moving to production with generative AI on AWS and Anthropic. And in addition, as you alluded to, we'll be working with all of the partners that our customers want to do business with. If it's an important partner to our customers, it's going to be an important partner to us as well.
Amazon Web Services CEO Adam Selipsky, thank you.